Hello, my name is John Nagoski. I have been an English teacher for 20 years. I'd like to introduce you to my channel, English with Subtitles. But afterwards, remembering the present which I destined for you, and which I gave you at the palace, I went back and found my wife lying with a black slave, the two sleeping upon the carpets of my bed. I killed the pair of them and made my way to you, thrice wretched in my thought for what had happened. This was the cause of my former paleness and loss of strength. As for the return of color to my cheeks, spare me, I pray, from speaking of it. When his brother heard these words, he said, "By Allah, I conjure you to tell me the other half of the matter." So King Shazam told him all he had seen. And King Shahir exclaimed, "First I must see this with my own eyes." To this his brother answered, "Make it appear then that you are going out to hunt and course, but hide instead with me, and you shall be witness of the sight and see the truth of it." Immediately the king proclaimed his departure by the public crier, and the soldiers went out beyond the city with their tents. The king went forth also, and settling himself in his tents, said to his young slaves, "Let no one enter." Then he disguised himself, and, leaving secretly, went towards the palace where his brother was. On his arrival, he stationed himself at the window giving on to the garden. Scarcely had an hour passed when the women slaves, circling about their mistress, came into the garden with the men slaves, and they did all that Shazam had told them. When King Shahir saw these things, reason fled from her seat in his mind, and he said to his brother Shazam, "Let us go hence and fare forth to seek our destiny upon the road of Allah. For we have no right in royalty, nor shall have, until we have found someone who has met a fate like ours. Without that, in truth, death would be better than our lives." To this his brother made a fitting answer, and both went out by a secret door of the palace. They traveled night and day until they came to a tree in the middle of a lonely meadow near the salt sea. In this meadow there was an islet of fresh water, at which they drank, and afterwards sat down to rest. An hour had hardly passed when the sea began to be troubled, and suddenly a column of black smoke came up out of it, which rose to the sky and moved towards the meadow. Seeing this, they became afraid, and climbed as high as they were able into the tall trees, and began to consider what this might mean. Then, behold, the smoke column changed to a jinn of great size, vast-shouldered, gigantically breasted, and carrying on his head a box. The wretched survivors of the earthquake. The wretched survivors of the earthquake. His stomach ache made him feel wretched all day. His stomach ache made him feel wretched all day. A tune which conjures up pleasant memories. A tune which conjures up pleasant memories. I had lost my pen, but she conjured up another one for me from somewhere. I had lost my pen, but she conjured up another one for me from somewhere. She exclaimed with delight when she saw the baby. She exclaimed with delight when she saw the baby. "You can't leave now," she exclaimed. "You can't leave now," she exclaimed. Proclaim independence. Proclaim independence. His accent proclaimed him a Scot. His accent proclaimed him a Scot. The detective stationed himself among the bushes. The detective stationed himself among the bushes. I hear your son's in the army. Where's he stationed? I hear your son's in the army. Where's he stationed?